Hey, we're going to go over how to halter, bridle, and saddle your horse. And Pete here, we had a lot of success on Pete. He's 30 years old and is retired, obviously. But he's kind of missing out on the action, so we thought we'd get old Petey out and let him do a little demo on his stuff. So, the way you do it is you're going to hold the halter, drape the lead rope over your shoulder, over your elbow. You're going to hold both ends in one hand. So then I can come up to the horse, I can reach over, pat him on second, gives you the nod of approval. Then reach down, grab the loop, slip it over his nose. Long end comes over the top. It goes down through this knot. Then you wrap the under back through that loop you just made and tuck the end there. You want it over this loop. You want this knot over this loop because if they pull back or something, you can always get this undone. If I had done it up here, that's wrong. And if you pull back, I'm never going to get that undone. So you just go loop over your loop, down through the bunny hole, underneath, and he's set. And I have this off the ground, draped over my shoulder, and we're ready to go. So next thing, we'll grab a saddle and show you how to throw a saddle on. We have the halter on, so when it's time to put your pad on, two things. Don't come up with it open and go at the horse like this. He's gonna not like that. And don't sneak up. The other is like, oh, fluffy, let me just slip that on. Just bring it up, toss it on. He knows that's intentional. He knows there's not anything wrong. You're not sneaking around and you're not coming in too big. Set that in place. Now the saddle, thank you. I'm gonna use my hip as the driver to throw it up. Rather than my arms, I'm gonna kind of pop my hip and drive from here. That creates some inertia and I just steer with my hands. So the saddle will come up and I just softly put it down. So I'm gonna drive my hip and then I can just settle it into place. Then make a pocket here with your pad. So make sure that you can basically fit your hand in there. And that will come down a little as we tighten the cinch, but this is kind of an important deal. Keep that off the withers. Now, instead of reaching over and just releasing the cinch and having it fall into his legs, I always try to show him a little respect and come around. I like him to see me out of both eyes anyway and let that down so it's not banging on him. Always let him know where you are. You can flip this up out of the way. So, this is all ready to go. I just need to put that part into the ring. It's one pull, the whole thing's set up. Go through again. Excuse me. And Petey apparently doesn't want to get saddled today. 29 years later, now he's bumming. You're not going to pull this all the way tight. You're just going to find a point where it's not going to fall off if he moves around too much. The back cinch, same thing. Depends on the type, for me, the type of riding. If I'm going to go out in the bush or out in the woods, make it tight. I don't want anything going under there. But for just going around in the arena, I keep it a little loose, not quite that loose normally. So it's not snug. You can fit your fingers in there. So now he's saddled. Let's get the bridle. Okay, time to put the bridle on. So I drape the lead rope over my right arm, drape the reins over my left arm, and hold the bridle on my wrist. So I can still use both hands, but it's off the ground and it's easy to get to. Now when it's time to put this on, my right hand's going to go to the top, my left hand's going to guide. My left hand steers the bit. My right hand is the power to lift it and put it into place. And power is a very loose word. This is a gentle kind of thing. So I'll untie this, wrap it around his neck so he doesn't take off. I have him. Then when he turns his head towards me, I can come here if I want to get his head, but he's all ready to go. So left hand steers, right hand lifts. Far ear first, near ear second. And that way, if he does turn away or go, you've got him because you've already got him hooked. Now, throat latch should be 2 fingers or so under his jaw, somewhere in there. We're not trying to choke him. It's there to keep this from all coming off. So then to unbridle him, same kind of thing in reverse. Undo the throat latch first. Right hand comes on top, near ear first, far ear second. Let him drop that. Try not to hit his teeth on the way out. Let him drop it. Then we just hook the halter back on. Same knot as we did before. And you're set. Now the next thing is hard tie or soft tie. So Petey's, he's a 30-year-old guy. He's not going to go anywhere. So we're okay either way. But if your horse pulls back or is giving you trouble or you're unsure, I always soft tie, which is I just like to wrap 3 times around the hitching post because he can pull but with some resistance. So he does kind of meet resistance, but if he freaks, there's some give, even though he's not just free. The other is a hard tie. Make a loop, reach under, pull that through the loop, and if you want to, lock it down by bringing the end through that last loop. And then if something happens, make sure you don't grab this to untie, grab over here, and you're good. Everything's free. So in a nutshell, that's how to how to put the halter on, take the halter off, saddle him, bridle him, and tie him up. And Petey, the good old guy, got to be part of all this.